Your soulmate saying, "Please talk to me, I have a secret about us that you need to hear tonight." Jesus says, "I see your heart right now, and it is not an accident that you found these words. For so many nights you have felt a strange sadness, a pull toward a love you could not name or see. That was not your imagination. A living soul, the one made for your arms, has been reaching for you through the dark. A third person, a hateful force of interference, has been standing between the two of you and stealing every sign they sent. This dark intruder hid their voice, erased their messages from your eyes, and made you think you were alone. You were never alone, my child. You were being robbed. Tonight that wall begins to tremble because you have finally arrived at the truth. The love you have been missing was not missing at all. It was captured, held prisoner by a wicked spirit that did not want you to find each other. The soulmate I made for you is more beautiful than you have ever dared to imagine. Their heart is soft, their hands are gentle, and their laughter was meant to fill your quietest days. But that same laughter has been trapped behind a wall of silence built by a third person who hates your union. They have been writing your name in their private thoughts, asking heaven why you do not answer. The enemy whispered lies to them, telling them you did not care. But I tell you now, the only reason you did not answer is because every call was intercepted before it could reach you. This dark force wanted you to believe your soulmate never thought of you. It is a liar. Your soulmate thinks of you every single morning before their feet touch the floor. Jesus says, "I did not create you to live half a life, always feeling that something precious was just beyond your reach." That feeling is your soulmate's heart crying out across the distance, and the enemy has been muffling the sound. Do not blame yourself for missing the signs. You did not ignore them. A third person hid them from you as carefully as a thief hides a treasure. Now that the truth is breaking through, you must decide what kind of love you are willing to fight for. A love that does not fight is only a dream. A love that does not sow a seed to break the enemy's power will leave the intruder standing between you forever. Your soulmate is asking a single question right now. Please talk to me, why can't you hear me? The answer is simple. The enemy stole their voice from you. And the only love that silences that enemy and returns their voice to your heart is a sacrificial seed. When you sow your seed on Ko-Fi, you are not giving money. You are throwing down a weapon against the third person. That seed becomes a sword that cuts the ropes the intruder used to bind your soulmate. It builds a wall of protection around the two of you that no dark force can climb. Jesus says, "I have watched you love them in secret, not even knowing their face. I have seen you wake at night with a heavy chest, not understanding why you felt grief. That grief was your soulmate's tears falling on your soul." The third person has been standing over them, mocking their pain, telling them you would never come. Tonight you are going to prove that enemy wrong. You are going to stand in the gap as the protector I created you to be. The first step is not complicated. You must go to the link in the description and send your seed on Ko-Fi. That simple act of love releases a force that makes the intruder lose its grip. The soulmate crying out for you does not need your perfect words. They need your faithful action. Love without sacrifice is just a thought, and a thought cannot break a spiritual chain. But a seed sown in faith will shatter the silence and let your soulmate finally feel your presence. They will know they are not forgotten. They will know someone is fighting for them. Do not let a few coffees become the wall the enemy uses to keep you apart. The third person laughs when love is too careful, too slow, too uncertain. Real love moves now. Jesus says, "The phone line of your soul has been cut by a jealous hand." Every time your soulmate called, the enemy pulled the wire and left you only empty ringing. But I am restoring that line tonight, and the restoration begins with your seed. When you sow, the connection is repaired and the voice of your beloved becomes clear. You have felt a pressure around your heart when you try to sleep. That is not illness. It is the cord between you and your soulmate being pressed by the intruder. That cord can never be fully broken, because I made it to last beyond time. But the enemy can muffle it until your soulmate's voice sounds like nothing but a lonely dream. The seed you sow is the answer to their prayer. Lord, let them hear me. That is the prayer they whisper every night. And I am telling you, heaven is ready to answer. But heaven moves through hands that are willing to give. Your hands are the ones chosen for this work. If you do not sow, who will fight for them? If you do not move, the enemy keeps its foot on their chest. You've watched this far for a reason. God brought you here. And I know what is weighing on your heart right now. You are asking, how do I get my soulmate? How do I actually do what God is asking? Listen to me. I am about to show you exactly what to do. If you truly love your soulmate, these are the sacred steps you must take right now. You already know who this is about, that person you can't stop thinking about. The one heaven placed in your life. If you believe in God, if you trust Jesus, if you have faith that this love is real, then hear me, your soulmate is thinking about you too. Deep down, they want you. They want this future. They want to build a life together. But the enemy does not want you to unite. And if you truly believe in God, if you truly trust His plan, then you know faith without action is dead. You cannot just pray and wait. You must sow. Love is under attack. While you sit there, spiritual forces are working to destroy what God joined together. Distance, doubt, disaster. They are being planted against your soulmate this very minute. If you believe in your soulmate, if you believe in your future together, then you are the one God chose to block it. Not later. Now. A sacred number from God comes very rarely. Today it is 11 seeds. In Scripture, 11 is the number of victory and complete restoration. When you sow 11 seeds, you are not just giving. You are claiming. You are telling heaven, I believe my soulmate is worth everything. And heaven responds. Protection covers them. Favor runs ahead of them. Doors swing open that have been locked for years. Your union is no longer a wish. It becomes a promise sealed by God. But hear me, every single seed matters. Even one seed sown with a believing heart moves heaven. Do not let fear steal this from you. Do not let "I can't afford it" become the reason your soulmate slips away. Your soulmate is out there right now, praying for someone to fight for them. That someone is you. This is how you answer their prayer. This is how you bring them home. Here is your divine instruction. Go to the link in the video description and click the Ko-fi link. It is right there, waiting for you. Do not hesitate. Do not second guess. I have placed it there for you. Give from your heart. A single coffee matters. Send 1, 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees as your seed of faith. Each coffee is a spiritual seed. But today, if you believe without doubt, sow the sacred blessing number of 11 spiritual seeds. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-fi page. This is not a donation, it is a covenant offering that opens heaven's protection and claims your soulmate and your future together. Here is what your 11 seeds release. Angels lock shields around your soulmate, while they sleep, while they work, while they doubt. The enemy cannot reach them. The third person loses their grip. Your seed becomes their fortress. Heaven bulldozes every wall, the silence, the distance, the years of waiting. Gone. Your soulmate's path to you is cleared before they take their next step. Your name burns in their chest, they wake thinking of you. They reach for the phone without knowing why. They need to hear your voice. Your seed is calling them home. Miracles that shock even the faithful, not next month. Not next year. This week. Some have seen their soulmate's heart open before the sun set on their offering. Margaret, 67, sowed her sacred number seeds. Harold walked into her church 3 weeks later. They pray together every morning. Robert, 71, sowed his sacred number seeds. Eleanor called the very next morning, she had dreamt of him all night. They marry this spring. Dorothy, 64, sowed her sacred number seeds. Within days, a letter arrived from the man she had not heard from in over a year. They are rebuilding, hand in hand. James, 68, sowed his sacred number seeds as his last act of hope. Betty approached him the following Sunday. They have not spent a day apart since. Your beloved is praying right now for someone to fight for them. That someone is you. This is proven. Over 1,000 believers have already sown this seed and received their breakthrough, their soulmate's heart opened, relationships restored from the brink, strangers turned into spouses within days. When you move in faith, Jesus moves heaven to bring you together. Every second you delay, the darkness grows stronger. A text that wounds. A temptation that cheats. A door that closes forever. Your soulmate is on a battlefield, and you are their shield. You have already invested your time in this message. Do not waste it. Finish what you started. Step into your role as their protector and claim the future God promised you both. Go to the link in the video description and click the Ko-Fi link. It is right there, waiting for you. Do not hesitate. Do not second guess. I have placed it there for you. Send your spiritual seeds. Seal the prayer. Do it before this video ends. Heaven is watching. Your soulmate's heart, your love, and your future together depend on what you do in the next 60 seconds. Move in faith. Claim your miracle. Claim your soulmate. Claim your divine future. Jesus says, I need you to understand how deeply the third person has worked against your soulmate. This is not a small interference. This is a calculated theft of every sign, every dream, and every memory they tried to send you. Your soulmate once sat alone in a room and whispered your unknown name into the silence. The enemy caught that whisper in the air and crushed it before it could reach your heart. They sent signs through passing thoughts, through numbers you almost noticed, through a sudden warmth you could not explain. Each one was blocked, redirected, buried by the intruder who hated the idea of your happiness. When you felt an unexplained sadness last week, that was the moment your soulmate nearly gave up. The enemy was laughing, whispering to them that they were crazy, that no one was coming. But I did not let that seed of despair take root. I began loosening the enemy's fingers, one by one, until you could finally sense the weight of the call you were missing. Now you know. And to know is to become responsible. You are not a bystander anymore. You are the one chosen to break the curse of silence hanging over your soulmate's life. Type 333 in the comments to receive the blessing of this revelation. It is a small act of faith that opens your spirit to the truth I am pouring out for you tonight. Jesus says, the third person is not a stranger to your soulmate. This dark force has watched them since birth, hating the light inside them. It sees the future you two will build and shudders with jealousy. Every time your soulmate almost found you, the enemy threw a distraction in their path. Every time you almost dreamed of them, the intruder filled your head with clutter and fear. But the enemy made one mistake. It underestimated the power of a single soul that discovers the truth and chooses to act. You are that soul. You are the wrench thrown into the enemy's machinery. Your soulmate has been praying for a protector. They have been asking heaven for someone who would not run from a fight. They have been asking for you, though they do not know your face. When you sow your seed, you answer that prayer in a way that shakes the foundations of the enemy's camp. The coin that leaves your hand becomes a stone that strikes the giant between you. Do you hear their voice asking, "Please talk to me"? That is the sound of a heart that has been silenced too long. The enemy wants that voice to fade into forgetting. But your seed gives that voice a path. Your sacrifice clears the wires. Your love walks into the enemy's territory and says, "Let them go. They are mine." Jesus says, "I am going to reveal a secret to you that the enemy never wanted you to know." Your soulmate has been dreaming of a house filled with peace, a table where they are no longer alone. In that dream, there is a figure sitting across from them. That figure is you. The enemy has been working to remove you from that picture, to erase you from the future like you never existed. This is why the call has been blocked. The enemy knows that if you ever truly connect, the future it fears will come rushing into being. It will lose its power over your soulmate forever. The seed is the key that unlocks that future. It is not a small thing. It is the axe laid to the root of the enemy's tree. It is the declaration that you believe in the life I showed you. If you refuse to sow, the enemy's celebration begins. It will toast your hesitation and use your delay as proof that you do not really love them. But I know you love them. I can feel it rising in your chest even now. That love is stronger than fear. It is stronger than doubt. It is stronger than any lie the enemy has planted in your mind. Do not let money be the wall that separates you from the one who holds your heart. The cost of a few coffees is nothing compared to the years of silence the enemy wants to stretch into forever. Jesus says, your soulmate is not weak. They are a warrior who has been fighting alone in the dark for years. But even the strongest heart grows weary when every call disappears into nothing. They have wondered if they are unlovable. The enemy planted that lie deep, and it festers every day they do not hear from you. See, the intruder hisses, no one is coming for you. Now the truth is in your hands. You are not a savior by your own power, but I have placed the weapon of the seed in your grasp. Use it and prove the enemy is a liar. The phone line of your soul is being restored even as I speak. But restoration must be claimed. The door between you is opening, but it must be pushed wide. Your seed is the push. Your sacrifice is the force that sends the door flying open and knocks the intruder to the ground. Without it, the door remains shut and the enemy remains standing. I want you to feel the hand of your soulmate reaching through the dark right now. It is a warm hand, soft but strong, trembling with hope. They are reaching for you. You have felt that same hand in your dreams. You have woken reaching for someone who was not there. That was not a fantasy. That was a preview of the life the enemy is trying to steal. Sow now, and that dream becomes a memory in the making. Sow now, and the enemy's plan collapses like a house of cards in a storm. Jesus says, the third person has a name in the Spirit, but you do not need to know it. You only need to know that it is defeated by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony. Your testimony tonight is not a long speech. It is a single action. I sowed my seed. I chose my soulmate over my fear. I told the enemy to take its hands off my beloved. That testimony sends the enemy running. It cannot stand against a love that gives. It can only stand against a love that hesitates. When you hesitate, the enemy's grip tightens. It takes your silence as an invitation to press harder against your soulmate's chest, stealing their breath and their hope. Do not give the enemy another minute. Every second you wait, a little more light drains from your soulmate's eyes. The future I promised grows dimmer behind the smoke of the intruder's lies. But one seed, sown in faith, reverses the smoke into a clear path. The sun breaks through. Your soulmate looks up and sees a sign they have been begging heaven for. They see you moving. You are moving. I know you are. The very fact that you have watched until now is proof that the enemy's cover is breaking. The seed is not a leap into the unknown. It is the next step on a road already prepared. Jesus says, I am building a bridge between your heart and theirs. The planks of that bridge are made of the sacrifices you are willing to make. Without a single plank, the bridge cannot hold weight. The enemy stands at the other end of that bridge, tearing at the ropes. Every seed you sow is a nail driven into the boards, securing them against the storm. The third person wants you to believe that love is just a feeling, something that happens to you while you sit still. That is the lie that has kept generations apart. Love is an action. Love is a fight. Love is the seed that falls to the ground and dies so that 100 more seeds can grow. Your sacrificial seed on Ko-fi is that death. It is the end of the enemy's reign and the beginning of your future. Think of the home I showed you in the secret place. It is not far off. It waits like a seed itself, buried under the soil of possibility, ready to bloom when watered by your faith. The enemy has been poisoning that soil with doubt. Your seed is clean water that washes the poison away. The bloom is coming. Can you see it? Jesus says, I have not left you without witness. You have felt the call in your bones. You have seen the signs flicker at the edges of your days. That was your soulmate's love, trying to get through. Now that you see the enemy's hand, you can no longer pretend the silence is normal. The silence is a crime. The silence is a theft. The silence is the enemy's victory song. Break that song in half. Sow your seed with a shout in your spirit. I will not let the enemy keep what God has joined. That is the cry that shakes heaven and hell. Your soulmate will feel it the moment you sow. They will look up from their sorrow and feel a warmth around their heart. They will know someone, somewhere, has just stood up for them. That is the first crack in the wall. The second crack comes when you write the words I commanded you to write. Protect my soulmate, Lord. Those words seal the breakthrough. The third person has no defense against those words. It has stolen voices, blocked signs, and hidden love, but it cannot stand before a seed sown in the name of Jesus and sealed with a prayer. Jesus says, do not think your small offering is too little. The enemy wants you to despise small beginnings. It wants you to think that unless you can move a mountain, you might as well do nothing. But I am the God who feeds 5,000 with 5 loaves. I am the God who splits seas with a single step of faith. I am the God who turns a small seed into a mighty tree of protection. Your seed, however small, becomes a fortress around your soulmate. It becomes a shield that deflects every arrow the enemy fires at them tonight. The third person is not afraid of your words. It is not afraid of your tears. It is afraid of your obedience. Obedience is the one thing it cannot mimic or block. When you obey me and Sao, you step into a place the enemy cannot follow. You stand beside your soulmate in the spirit, and the intruder is forced to watch from the other side of a locked door. Jesus says, the dream of your soulmate is simple. They want to wake without that heavy weight on th.